Keldrak Sarnath sighed as the shuttle made its way down to the planet. His mentor, Varshak Dalnar, had always criticized his confidence, calling it arrogance. But even the old man couldn't deny Keldrak's skill. In sending him out to fight martial artists from different species, Varshak had probably hoped Keldrak would meet his match. Keldrak chuckled to himself as he remembered how he had won every single fight so far. This one would be no different. It had only been a few months since these humans had been discovered, and while their first contact had shown them to be capable warriors, there was a big difference between firing guns from the safety of a cockpit and fighting someone with your bare hands. No doubt this Sebastien Moreau would lose, just like all the others. The shuttle landed, and Keldrak grabbed his bags in one hand, the claws at the tip of his fingers scraping against the reinforced material. As he stepped onto the spaceport's landing pad, he flexed his long, whip-like tail absently, the motion more instinctual than intentional. His crimson-hued scales caught the light, faint streaks of black tracing jagged lines across his limbs. His brow shifted, making the ridges near his horns shift slightly as he scanned his surroundings, the sharp angles of his face forming into a smirk. He had to keep himself from bursting out laughing. These humans, while they stood nearly as tall as him, lacked the dense musculature he had come to expect from worthy opponents. Their jaws were smooth, their teeth barely noticeable. If one of these creatures struck him, would he even feel it? Was this even going to be worth his time? When he finally arrived at his destination and walked in, his fears were alleviated only slightly. None of these humans would stand a chance, of course, but these ones at least looked like they might survive a hit or two. "I'm here for Sebastien Moreau," Keldrak announced loudly, his patience already worn thin. The humans simply gave him strange looks. After a few moments, another human walked into the room. "I'm guessing you're Keldrak?" the man said before continuing. "Sebastien is getting ready for the fight. Come, I'll take you to a locker room so you can do the same." Keldrak was led through a couple of doors to a locker room where he's left to prepare. He felt eager to get started already, hoping it would at least last long enough to make the long journey worth it. Keldrak had fought martial artists from almost every single state within the Interstellar Assembly. He had faced one of the insectoid Xerixians in the Lyrissic Union and broken its crystalline exoskeleton. He had torn open the carapace of an Erythian in the Etherion Covenant. He had fought a Kerlur in the Cypharian Nexus and left it broken on the arena floor. He had nearly shattered the crystalline body of an Orath in the Sharthanic Dominion. Vimali, Thynthea, Ixari, Foyana, none of them had been able to challenge him. The humans would be no different. When he finished getting ready, he walked out of the locker room and was led down a hallway to a larger room. The space was filled with exercise equipment, much of it in use. Keldrak smiled. At least there would be an audience. Humiliating his opponent was always fun. In the middle of the room stood an octagonal cage, a single human inside, probably his opponent. He wore simple shorts and gloves, leaving most of his body exposed. It was true. These humans truly had nothing when it came to natural armor, Keldrak thought to himself, almost respecting the fact that they didn't try to compensate for it with protective gear. Almost. Keldrak stepped into the cage with Sebastien, and the door was closed behind them. Outside the cage, the human that had led him here spoke up. "Sebastien, meet Keldrak. Keldrak, this is Sebastien. This match will go until submission or knockout. Any questions?" "Nope," Sebastien responded calmly. Keldrak chuckled softly. "Let's start this already. I'm sick of waiting." A bell rang. The fight had begun. Keldrak lunged forward, striking fast and hard. Sebastien blocked the hit but staggered back. Keldrak smirked at the display. Pathetic. He would push this fragile thing against the wall and end it quickly. Keldrak advanced as he struck again and again, but Sebastien didn't block. He simply dodged, leaning, shifting, slipping just out of reach every time. Keldrak narrowed his eyes. This human was fast, but speed meant nothing when the opponent finally made a mistake. Keldrak swung again, predicting the dodge, and followed up instantly. his other hand ready to land the real blow. Sebastian had dodged right into it. He wouldn't escape this one. Except he did. Sebastian ducked under the punch. Before Keldrak could react, a brutal uppercut slammed into his jaw. He staggered back, momentarily stunned. He recovered quickly, but Sebastian was already pressing the advantage. He had to regain the advantage. Keldrak snarled and lashed out with a claw strike, aiming to tear flesh. It was too fast to dodge. Sebastian would have to block, and when he did, his claws would dig into the flesh, and the fight would be over. But Sebastian didn't block. Instead, he stepped forward, into Keldrak's guard, and grabbed his wrist. Before Keldrak could react, Sebastian twisted, placing his back against the Drafak's chest. A sudden pull, a shift of weight, and Keldrak was airborne. He hit the ground hard, the impact rattling his bones. Sebastian immediately locked in an armbar, and pain flared through Keldrak's limb. No. Keldrak roared, rage burning through him. How dare this soft-skinned creature trap him like this? He struggled, but Sebastian's grip was unyielding as the pain grew worse. If this continued, his arm would break. No, he wouldn't allow it. Summoning all his strength, Keldrak surged upward, lifting Sebastian off the ground. With a furious snarl, he slammed the human into the wall of the cage. Sebastian's grip loosened, just for a moment, but that was all Keldrak needed. He threw his opponent off, breathing heavily, fury burning in his crimson eyes. Sebastian rolled to his feet, grinning. That smile only stoked Keldrak's anger even further. He charged, attacking relentlessly, forcing Sebastian on the defensive. Keldrak saw his opening. Sebastian ducked an attack and Keldrak leaned back, avoiding the inevitable counterstrike. Sebastian was left open, and so he struck. Keldrak smiled. His timing had been impeccable. His form was perfect. Sebastian would have no time to dodge or duck this one, and he was too strong for this weakling to block his attack. But he missed. Sebastian deflected the strike, grabbing Keldrak's wrist and yanking hard. The sudden pull forced Keldrak to stumble forward, right into a punch that smacked into his face. His vision flickered, but before he could recover, Sebastian yanked his arm again, forcing him into another staggering step, this time straight into a brutal elbow to the face. Keldrak reeled backward, dazed, his footing unstable. Sebastian finally let go, and the momentum carried Keldrak further back, slamming him against the cage wall. Out of sheer desperation, Keldrak swung wildly, claws slicing through the air. But Sebastian simply weaved to the side, avoiding the attack with ease. And then he struck. Blow after blow crashed into Keldrak. Punches, elbows, unrelenting, merciless. Each strike hammered his body, his vision blurring, his strength failing. He could feel consciousness slipping away. And then, the barrage stopped. Keldrak barely managed to look up, dazed, breath ragged. For his blurred vision, he could barely make out a fist headed directly for his face. Keldrak's eyes went wide as, for the first time in as long as he could remember, he felt fear. Keldrak woke up to a familiar face. His mentor, Varshak Daunar. "I should have guessed that you had planned this, old man," Keldrak grunted in pain as he slowly sat up. Varshak shook his head. "I didn't plan anything. When the humans were first discovered, I managed to get a look at some of their martial arts for a friend of my brother's. So when you sent me a message saying your next opponent was going to be a human, I didn't need to prepare anything. I already knew you would lose." Keldrak frowned. "Well, congratulations, old man, but if you think this will teach me humility," he said mockingly, "you're out of luck." Varshak chuckled. "If getting your ass kicked would have curbed your arrogance, Keldrak, I could have easily taken care of that myself. No, for that, you needed to see something like that." Keldrak turned to look in the direction his mentor had indicated. He saw Sebastian standing in the ring with someone that even he would hesitate to challenge. They were fighting, and they were laughing. "People like you and I, Keldrak, we fight to further ourselves along the path of mastery that we have chosen. But humans? Sure, mastery is a factor, but more importantly, they enjoy it." Keldrak watched as Sebastian used his superior speed and maneuverability to evade his opponent's strikes, occasionally exploiting opportunities but never overcommitting to any attack, just like what had been done to him. He will go through the pains and injuries of training and exercise simply because it's fun. Sebastian's opponent staggered backwards from one of the strikes and swung to retaliate. Sebastian smoothly ducked under the attack and maneuvered himself behind his opponent, jumping off the wall of the cage and punching him in the face. The man went down and soon began to laugh as Sebastian helped him up. Keldrak's eyes went wide with realization. During their fight, Sebastian had been holding back.